3, 2, 1. Let's go. Welcome, everybody, to TF Labs and Niftmint for our event this evening. We're going to be talking about meme coins, do a meme coin deep dive. How's everybody doing tonight? Good? Awesome. Well, my name is Jonathan G. Blanco. I'm the founder and CEO of Niftmint and the founder and CEO of TF Labs. TF Labs, we've been hosting events in the Seattle and Pacific Northwest area for about 7 or 8 years. Before the pandemic, we were doing events regularly in Austin, San Francisco, San Antonio, everywhere. And now we mainly focus here in Seattle, but we do a lot of things virtually online. So if you're watching, please go ahead and share this with your community. Please retweet this. Please share this on your LinkedIn. And if you are watching these on those channels, send us a message and we'll try to answer that. I'm also the founder of Niftmint. What Niftmint does is we create digital twins of physical products for brands. We've been doing that for a number of years now, and we abstract a lot of that crypto. You've heard me talk about that time and time again, so I'll leave it at that for now. But if you want to learn more about that, you can go to niftmint.com. Now, it's thumbs up on the screen. I wonder if that's my thumbs up or someone else did a thumbs up, but I appreciate that. And with that, let's get right into meme coins. I'm really excited for our guest, and we actually have another guest who's going to be joining us in a second, and we'll welcome him in shortly. But our guest is none other than Seattle's own Justin Wu, who has been in the trenches of meme coins before it was even cool to do meme coins. I remember Justin talking about meme coins like 2 or 3 years ago, and I'm like, what the heck is this meme coin thing? Justin's done a really good job of being early at a lot of things in crypto, but also a lot of things in marketing and growth. So with that, welcome Justin Wu.
Awesome. Thanks for having me here, Jonathan.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, welcome everybody.
Cool. And so we have the mics. Obviously, you can hear us, but the mics is so that we can hear us on the recording. And yeah, Justin, do us a favor and introduce yourself to everybody, please.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Yeah, was born and raised Seattle, down in Renton, actually, and then moved to Asia last cycle, I guess, before. Been in crypto since 2013. Got in because of Dogecoin, actually. Mined it early. Actually was like another Seattle meetup event. Actually was an entrepreneur event, and then some friends just told me about Dogecoin and Bitcoin at that time, and I had a lot of graphics cards and started mining my first meme coin, I guess, at that time.
Nice.
As well too.
Yeah, Doge, the original
meme coin. But also I'd argue that Bitcoin was the meme coin, the number one meme coin at that time as well too.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, my background, I've been marketing growth through all those cycles, on and off, like 3 or 4 cycles now. Meme coins specifically, I was heavily trading and also marketing a lot of meme coins on the previous cycle. So, during like FTX era and early meme coins at that time, that's when Ethereum was leading, and then everybody wanted faster gas, went to like Avalanche, Binance, all that stuff, and everybody kept calling it poo coins or shit coins at that time. It wasn't even called meme coins during that time. Fast forward now, I'm a crypto Twitter, I guess, KOL or meme coin or degen trader. Build a community there. Also host a lot of other events, mostly in Asia now these days. And because I've been in meme coins since previous cycle as well too, I've just been building up a lot of connections previously to a lot of other influencers, KOLs at that time. And then also a lot of those developers, which, everybody keeps calling the meme coin cabal. I know a lot of the guys behind a lot of those. I've been involved with Ponky, actually, super early on. Also got the devs there, and some of the many other projects. And then there's the space has just been moving super rapidly now, especially with the new administration and all these like celebrity coins and stuff that's happening. So happy to share, I guess, like all the alpha, but also some stuff behind the scenes, I guess, just so you know, like what's happened and what's happening now, and how it's evolving, I guess, in the space.
Yeah, and before we get into the meme coin side, let's talk about the events for a second, because you've been doing events for a really long time, and I think that leads to your credibility in the space, is the fact that you're a visible person. You're not just some anonymous person out there. So if you say something or do something, people pretty much know where to find you. Just go to a decentral event, right? So talk to us about like how you've seen doing events and how that's been good for even your growth and just how you think about the market overall.
Oh, for sure. So yeah, I mean, I host a conference back then called Decentral. It was in Miami, Austin, Tokyo, Singapore. And similar to Jonathan, we host events really just to connect with a lot of the builders in the space, investors, developers. For me, though, is really kind of just to really get to know people and meet projects out there, and got to also meet a lot of different players in each different crypto hub or blockchain hub out there as well too. And when I guess back in like 2021, 2022, when there was like early meme coins like Safe Moon and some of these other coins that you might see now from previous like scams and others, they're doing some interesting concepts at that time. But I got to meet a lot of those teams early on. But a lot of people downplayed, meme coins at that time. They called it scams, and it depends on your perspective. Of course, they could be scams. But it was really just hosting events to kind of learn on each of the different categories of the narratives, different chains even as well too. And because of that, it became like not like a single chain maxi anymore, and I don't even care about the category. I'm just a degen or gains maxi, and I was since like 2 cycles ago. I did not care what chain it was. I didn't even care what the token does, as long as people are excited for it, or the community didn't have to have any purpose for it, like Litecoin, even or Ripple. As long as there's like an army or people super excited for it, or even look at like Chainlink, the Chainlink army, that was a meme as well too. Despite the tokenomics and things don't even have any role with that and how those projects ran it up. And outside the events, yeah, I mean, I was doing marketing and community growth with a lot of the consulting with a lot of the early protocols and projects as well too. So yeah, I think got a lot of insights that I could share.
So I think a good place for us to start on the coin side is this notion, call it, of a shit coin. So if you're a Bitcoin maximalist, for example, anything not Bitcoin is a shit coin. And then if you're in, call it a basket of crypto, you might consider Avalanche or Solana or
Ethereum,
like to not be shit coins, but then the meme coin to be the shit coin. So can you help, for those that might just not be aware, like how would you delineate across that, call it, for like a broader audience context of?
Yeah. I mean, like the basic delineation outside the maxi point of view, obviously, it's just any coin that is not a utility coin is considered a shit coin. But there was a time, even for this cycle of this run up, people are just saying like Solana went down to like $8 or so, and then Avalanche went down to like $2. And then at that time, Dogecoin and all these other meme coins were actually start outperforming even that early, when the market was down. The market was so choppy, but all the other altcoins were starting to go and explode. And the reason that I guess that got people excited is just because of the gains and the trading. Another perspective also too was they just said that, oh, all these so-called layer ones or utility coins had a purpose, but they all became like a rug, or in itself by definition a shitcoin themselves as well too, because of how much they crashed, like again Solana collapsing down to like $10 or something as well. So I think that the meme coin rise of this run, why it became so popular, and I exactly why, is just because of it was just same with like the ICO days. People were tired of the VC rugs that happened, meaning a lot of these projects, like I don't want to call it projects or anything, but all these like projects that came out from previous cycles, backed by A16Z to like Pantera, etc. They're all like VC heavy, right? Like all the tokenomics favored the VCs, and you already see it once the token launches. Then we always called it dumpamentals, not tokenomics. It's just dumpamentals. Who gets to dump it first? And it was just the VCs that always gets fastest unlock, cheapest price, vested out, and the price and the pressure just keeps starts high and then just keeps going downward spiral as well too. So So what happened during the meme coin era of this time now, people started to take notice of that, saying, well, we can just do a fair launch community coin back to like the original crypto roots of how coins were originally launched, low market cap, open distribution, and allow people to kind of buy in, and then have the price grow more gradually and increase the token holder account as well too, and have fun. So it wasn't VC controlled out there as well, which is like how Dogecoin actually even started, and the purpose of Dogecoin and others came out for that same purpose. So it was kind of a chain reaction of, oh, we were tired of all these Solana and of Avalanche and all these other VC coins that still, that is, like March 1st has like one of the biggest unlocks for Solana happening. It's all VCs going to be dumping, right? And so people already try to front run, and that could be why Solana is also crashing. Besides the macro of things, as people don't want to be the bag holders when a huge percent of supply is being unlocked there. So that's what's happened now. Like why meme coins started getting popular is just because again, it was a start low market cap. But then as it rapidly evolves, then I think the purpose started to get, the greed just started taking over as usual in crypto super fast. And so, even just the most recent launch with the Argentina coin as well too, that was the kind of perfect example of very sophisticated uh, collaboration and by Meteora and Jupiter and some Solana players of doing max extraction by like loading up the pools, farming people, pre-sniping their own tokens. We'll dive a little more into the tokenomics as well, but they turned it into like a factory of doing that. And I think Zach XBT and all the other online on-chain investigators found that the same launchers did Melania and all these other kind of rug pulls. They had like a formula that happened, and it was totally different back then in the previous cycle of meme coin days. But more professional players came into space with combined with market makers to really take over the market. So, yeah.
Sorry, and if you're watching online or here, you see the lights flickering. So there's actually a big storm happening. So it knocked us out back here. What's that?
Yeah.
It's all the meme activity. But okay, so when you think about in this, honestly, this happened in NFTs, this happens here, this happens in meme coins, this happens in all the different tokens. There is, call it groups of people that collude together, right?
And the meme coin cabals.
Yeah, the meme coin cabals, but like those cabals happen in every industry, of course, right? Like that's not new to meme coins. What does that do to the market? Like, I think one of the interesting things about meme coins is the fact that you're monetizing attention, right? When we think about it at the end of the day, like it really is that. That's why they go up so high so fast, because that's where the attention is, and then they dump because the attention has been gone. To an extent, of course.
To an extent, and then the tokenomics, of course, the way that they structure the supply, how much is circulating, and then how much $1 can multiply the market cap like significantly as well too. So there's a lot of gamification in that way that makes it kind of scarce. The same way like NFTs kind of popped up, right? There's only 10,000 in that collection, so the market cap of a Bored Ape, if it keeps going up to like 300,000 or whatever it went up to a peak, it made the market cap in the billions, I guess, as well. So that type of Ponzi-nomics or tokenomics that came together just got reapplied back into meme coins, for better for worse. But that got people super excited for these coins, and then also too, like because the layer ones weren't performing as well, then all the attention and people just wanted to kind of chase the meme coins out there as well too. Back in the previous cycle, up to like maybe like summer of June of last year, there were a lot of developers and people that were launching meme coins, like Floki Inu and all these other like other meme coins that came about. And what happened to the community back then, which I liked, which is more positive than right now, was it was kind of self-policing in a way, because there were groups of people that did launch meme coins, but they didn't do like the crazy like full instant rug that you see right now. It was more of they launched it and they kind of kept growing. The goal was to keep kind of grow the chart and price, and if it collapses, then they market make and buy it, so it's more organic for everybody. And they want to continue to grow the community and the token holders, to grow value collectively. And if there were developers that were rug pulling, um, a lot of the people on crypto Twitter were actually calling out all those bad developers, and then it ended up being like a small set of influencers and people that were shilling these meme coins started to like ignore all the scam and ruggers out there. So there were actually good teams, surprise or not, like that launched tokens that did pretty well, and they lasted pretty long for some of them, for a couple, oh, even 1 to 2 years for meme coins is very long. Uh, and then they just have a consistent group that launched, got in early, but then grew the tokens. They do get influencers involved early on as well, and then they start pushing it all together. And if the chart goes down, influencers will still bull post for it and tweet about it, and then try to push it back up. And that's back then. That's what separated some of the very strong meme coins versus the weak ones, because the weak ones that were early rugs, they just didn't get support from influencers and market makers and big whales to maintain the chart. And the developers that were all ruggers were so greedy that if they see $50,000, $100,000, they would just sell and rug the price, versus the more experienced meme coin cabals. They've been doing it for years, and so they can market make themselves the chart. And quite frankly, like, they're worth like 8 to 9 figures, some of these meme coin whales. And so like they don't need to like rug pull $1 million when they can push it up to like $1 billion market cap, and get super rich as well too.
So maybe give us a couple of examples of maybe some meme coins that did it right in that last cycle, and like so we can have like comparisons of what you're talking about here.
Yeah, well, there's a few. Like, I mean, Dogecoin obviously is the most biggest one. Another derivative of that was like Floki Inu as well too. I don't know the original Floki. Maybe it came from Elon, or I don't know. It was another dog basically, and it had like a Viking hat, and it was like on Binance. That one also was supported heavily by Binance Chain as well too at that time, because in terms of meme coins, it was only Ethereum and Binance that were launching memes at that time. Actually, all the other chains actually did not want to touch meme coins because of the nature of their shit coins and their scammy. Like, I was talking to like Sandeep at Polygon, and like they missed every narrative. They thought DeFi was a rug. They thought they were, a lot of these protocols were sitting on the high horse saying, oh, this is just a full rug, versus Binance just openly allowed it, which was like kind of all Wild West of crypto, especially for the Chinese or China scams that came out of it. But it is what it is. That's the decentralized market. But what they did very good at that time, again, was just like they're focusing on token holder count, distribution, make sure that it wasn't whale heavy, so everybody was looking everything on chain. And then the rhetoric for that was just they were onboarding more people on chain more than any other real L1 or utility DApp or DeFi DApp or project out there. A lot of the wallet downloads for Phantom, MetaMask, and everything else was driven because of these meme coins that happened on chain, especially when the market was just like nothing was happening, right? So they were targeting both the sophisticated user in crypto, but also like the brain rot, like Gen Z, also like
Yeah.
retail buyer to participate. Again, you show somebody just a cute dog, or the chill or Pepe, then it's just easy for them to just buy it, relate to it. Um, and again, like people again doubted it, but the fact that Dogecoin never died through all the cycle, just prove and how big of a market cap it was and how it grew, just showed how the power of community and longevity of it for that as well. And many of the other coins that didn't do anything that's still alive right now is kind of a testament to that as well too.
Yeah. and there's a whole government entity now called that, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I want to invite up another guest to join our conversation, and you remember how we do this. So with that, let's invite Matt Sorg, who's the VP of Technology at Solana. How you doing, sir? Welcome. And Justin, maybe scoot over just a bit towards me. Very good. Cool. Matt, why don't you do us a favor and introduce yourself?
Oh yeah, I'm the VP of Technology at Monetization and facilitate the Solana ecosystem. Open to all of the dev for that, and then I made a career in AI and machine learning in games. Riot Games makes League of Legends for Unity. I also founded 2 startups. One was a blockchain startup in 2017, and then the second one I kind of got out of crypto for a bit and made a hearing aid technology company. So yeah, we make the software for hearing aids, and then like a consumer play. It's called Contra Labs. Yeah, after I got to advise that in like 21, yeah, I joined Solana about 4 years ago.
Nice, nice. Well, so we've been doing a little deep dive into meme coins. Justin's done a good job of giving us a history lesson and kind of past cycle, current cycle. Let's loop you into the conversation. So Justin was just mentioning about how last cycle a lot of meme coins were on Binance. This cycle, a lot of them are on Solana. Tell us about that. It might form a little closer to you. And yeah, what's that like? I mean, I'm assuming that you have a hands-off approach to those, but what is that like on the seeing all that activity on Solana?
Yeah, the ecosystem has grown a lot. So I guess probably sort of started about 2 years ago with Bonk did an airdrop, mostly to devs at the time. It was kind of peak hysteria bear for the Solana ecosystem. I think December of 2022. You know, it's a very yeah, peak bear. Yeah, I forget exactly what date. Sorry, but yeah. So it actually funneled or fueled a lot of early developers in Solana. Kind of kept them going. You know, a couple $100 here and there. I think the full market cap was like 10 mil. You know, but it was enough to kind of keep some devs going. They dropped it like basically they did a curation of different developer discords or telegrams and GitHub repos and they dropped it. And then so then that kind of did like good standing around memes because it was kind of a fun event. And then you know, fast forward, it was kind of dormant for a while, but fast forward to like Whiff, and there's a few early things that kind of picked up a little over a year ago. Uh, we had we didn't really know anything about it or anything, but like you know, it's kind of cool just to kind of see a lot of people get excited about things on chain. But you know, we basically see what everybody else sees. We see stuff, you know, data on chain, and then people kind of picked up on it, started forming businesses around it, like launch pads, and you know, from that kind of exploration pumped up. And that's kind of history. There's just you know, tons of just you know, it's volatility is kind of the product in some sense. So it's definitely been a wild time. I think a lot of things are getting a little weird with it. You're kind of convoluting the pure mimetic, like attention randomness with actual legitimate figureheads and people. So that's making the economy kind of weird. For a long time, the Solana ecosystem kind of just rejected the celebrity coins. I could just start rattling off a bunch of celebrities who listed coins on Solana, but they didn't really go anywhere. But you know, get heads of state, things kind of changed a little bit. Yeah, so that's kind of I don't know. That's kind of the history.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no, I want to say, yeah, you know, and the good thing about it is, well, not good thing, but like what came out it was because you know Solana and Phantom Wallet, the experience was just really really good compared to every other chain as well. And other you know chains that you guys might have seen always try to copy it again, like Binance keeps trying to do a push in these waves.
Broccoli coin.
Yeah, Broccoli Coin was one as well. And then Avalanche tried to do it as well, and many others as well too. But also, you know, it's the onboarding experience to get the people on board to the chain was very difficult. Avalanche, when you fail a transaction, I think it just don't know. Does it eat the fee, or it does something? It does something very weird. It doesn't return. I think it eats the fee and just the night it doesn't even return it back to you, and the transaction just completely fails. So the meme coin experience was actually aggravating. So a lot of the meme coin guys were able to when the shift, people were trying to rotate the memes in there and deploy it, it just didn't happen. And then same with all the other chains that came about. Experience just wasn't like Moonshot and all the other things that supported people faster. I think it's a great use case or showcase of the tech.
Yeah, I mean, from our side, that's like the pretty awesome thing about this. We got to see in real time what enormous volumes were. So the weekend of the Trump Melania like thing that we actually the chain actually had like 1/10 the volume, like every like any given day, about 1/10 the volume of a normal day on Nasdaq, which is pretty exciting. That's just like an extreme volume. Also, just handling I mean, it didn't process, but the ingest was about 200,000 transactions per second, sometimes spiking all over that. That's sustained. So it's there's a few instances where parts of the ecosystem kind of faltered a little bit. Some of the price APIs, kind of actually mostly the Web2 stuff, like Phantom's AWS server crashed. uh, Basically, their caching server to make it so like it's snappy. That's probably the reason why they have good user experience. It's like a good combination of it's all reading the chain, but in order to serve it really quickly, it doesn't query the chain every time. It does updates, and when it updates the cache, and the cache actually fell over just because they were getting so many things. So it was a really good chance for the ecosystem to just kind of see what that level of growth was. That was like more inbound than any crypto uh, blockchain had ever seen before. So it's really great for us to see. We have I think we handled it pretty well, obviously, but it also just gives us a lot of things to improve. And we're actually rolling out 2.1 right now, which has a lot of those improvements, and then 2.2 will come out. 2 is like even more so, and then just So like for us, it's just like we get like we get excited just like as engineers and nerds, just like see a bunch of stuff coming in from all over the world from a lot of different sources. Just making sure that we can process it line rate.
So it's interesting because it seems like there's so many meme coins now. And Justin, the conversation was I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it felt like the conversation was going this way, where now the expectation is that it's going to pump and dump fast, like or faster, like with coins that are coming out now. What is that? Am I assessing that properly, or are there still long haul like new coin opportunities?
I mean, there always is new opportunities, and the waves have always come in and out. And I think with the whole Argentina thing, hopefully it does reset. But then Kanye is coming out this week, so Kanye Coin is going to test both the chain, but also the limits on the social and cultural standard as well too of what's going to happen because of what he's doing,
And,
for
and
better for worse.
and actually, let's do a quick little breakdown of some of these meme coins that have recently
Yeah,
come out. So
yeah.
we have the ones that are on the screen here that
and
people
more
are more
coins.
familiar with, right?
Yeah, more-
And then all of a sudden, 3-4 weeks ago, Trump coin comes out of nowhere, uh, and it runs up really high, and now it's back down. But so you had the Trump coin come out, you had the Argentina coin. I mean, you could maybe throw Barstool coin in there,
Yeah.
and then now Kanye Coin. So okay, so let's give people who might not be aware. What was the Trump coin, real quick? Just give us a quick rundown of that.
I mean, it was just the. I don't think there's really utility for it. It's just celebrating Trump before he got into office. Really, yeah. And then Melania launched as well too.
Same kind of thing.
Same kind of thing. Well, different, I would say.
Yeah. And then what happened with the Argentina coin? So that came out. Milei, like, he didn't approve it per se, but he tweeted about it, so people got a little bothered by that, right?
Yeah, it was launched by a group, and then he reshared it, and then it did it went down very very fast, and so then it got people very upset, but also suspicious of it as well too because of the how fast that nature that happened again because typical meme coins like the ones you see in the past before was mostly like a gradual buildup, and so when you start getting that much attention and a lot of people involved, I think it starts causing a lot of
And
grief.
he said that, you know, he's like, "Hey, I'm not promoting it. I just shared it. That's all." Right? That was his.
Yeah, I don't.
And now you have the Barstool coin, you know, where Barstool is a legitimate company, media company. And I don't know. Actually, I haven't paid attention to that coin at all, other than knowing that they launched one.
So apparently, I don't think they specifically launched one. Uh, Dave bought into one that he kind of liked. Has been basically like promoting that one. It's called
Oh, got it.
Tailstool. It's kind of like he just liked the meme so much, and he would post it about it and promote it and like tell when he and people kind of can see his wallets now or some of the wallets. I don't know. I don't follow it day to day, but it's like something about that. And he has himself launched a couple few through Greed something.
Oh yeah,
And so like, but he's just like a gambler. I think he's also gambled on other things over time, and this is kind of one of the things he's trying.
Yeah, he updated his Twitter account. You know, it says Barstool and, you know, DraftKings, and he goes, "I collect meme coins as a hobby. It's volatile. Trenches aren't for you. Don't do it."
Yeah. I think that's like a pretty good thing. Like you really should only do it if you just like me to do it. I would not recommend it for any. It is not a recommendation. I have.
All right, so we have that one, and now there's a rumor that there's going to be a Kanye West coin.
that's very confirmed. Yeah.
Oh,
It's a rumor. Yeah. So, well, he has said he is. It's unclear any of the mechanics though, let alone even like where it's. But he has said he's going to launch.
Yeah.
now obviously he's not going to do it. He's running with someone else, like an existing cabal or something, right?
Yeah,
Because I was reading something along the lines that he gave people access to his Twitter for managing it for the token. That'll be interesting. And the memes on this are actually great, where people are like, "Oh, like I'll never buy, you know, the Kanye coin," and then people like wink because they can, you know, front run it or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I think there will definitely be, a lot of vocal people that won't buy it, and I mean, there will be people that will just chase it no matter what, just because they want to degen into it, and and this is just the nature of the meme coins, and there's just been very weird cycles that happen, and it's just what the narrative is of that week. If there is one coin that does very well in a weird category or weird, meme, it could be an animal coin. It could be something that's really, sexual, racist. I've seen all the variations of it as well, and Gen Z, like TikTok, really just did very well, and then it just shifts. So, I guess the cool process about memes is that people can just launch and create it on Pump Fun or whatever, and it's just whatever the culture or internet culture, I should say, adopts and brings people to it, and if people that it's funny or they like it, then it is the flavor of that week. But you probably if you were following all the meme coins in this whole cycle, it just started to just switch very, very, very fast. And then it became an overlap where AI became a lot of AI and AI memes and agents and agent memes started to overlap as well too. So again, the attention span of crypto Twitter and crypto traders went from like Facebook to straight up like TikTok fast fastness of attention span.
That's a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's, you know, on the AI side, like the AI 16Z that was, I don't want to say it wasn't promoted by A16Z, but they were completely okay with that being used. You know, where normally any institution would probably say like, "Hey, here's a cease and desist. Don't."
I think they actually did that.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure that they rebranded the ticker is still the same. I can't change that. But they rebranded to the live.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Well, there was a time period where A16Z was completely okay with it.
I think they probably. I don't know.
Or
The
maybe completely okay with this wrong way. They were not telling them to stop doing it, which you would think they'd be like, "Hey, stop doing this immediately."
Yeah, I mean, I think the original like meme was they trained the model on market research. I think some of his Twitter. They trained it on his Twitter, which is why where the name kind of comes from. It's like that they made AI like
An agent.
LLMs
Right.
basically tweeting kind of like him, and then that's like, and then they made a kit that you could have anybody make a similar type of, agent that would tweet about whoever you trained it on.
Yeah, but back with the memes as well too. Again, like people can launch. It is going back to like the old crypto culture where you don't even need permission and you don't need a copyright. Like Chill Guy, like they try to sue the the author or IP owner, try to sue the meme coin, but like who are you gonna sue? This like random anon that you don't know that's could be North Korea even launching coins. Actually, North Korea did launch some meme coins as well too. They did.
The front ends banned it though, so there's a difference here. The protocols can't really do anything themselves, like they're just running on software all around the world, and they're just governed by code that you can't really, you can't touch that. But the front ends can. The front end, well, there are completely decentralized front ends too, but Pump That Fund's front end is a centralized front. It is their front end. Anybody could make their own front end for it, but yeah, they stopped the display of the.
Yeah. So
nice. All right. Well, I'd love to open up to questions if anybody has a question. But if you do have a question, do me a favor, just come up here so I can hand you the mic, and that way we can hear your question. If anybody has a question I want to ask or add to the conversation. How many people here are meme coin traders? We only got just a couple. Okay. So most of you are learning then.
No, they're holding the right coins.
Or they're holding the right coins. Yeah.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Or utility coins.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
How do you guys categorize or differentiate one layer down below meme coin, right? Like when you get this big kind of branding of meme coins, or the other ways to call them, right? What are some of those attributes that you use to differentiate them? So
I actually think this is a really good question. He's basically asking how you differentiate and kind of categorize meme coins. My answer, I actually think the industry is figuring this out. I think one of the biggest issues that we're seeing now is everything's kind of lumped into the same distribution mechanism, even though some of them clearly have, other information. Like I was kind of indicating earlier, some are purely mimetic. It's like, even if you buy into it, you are just like everybody else, seeing if they think it's funny or whatever. It's just pure meme. But with the second you use those same mechanics, where the way that generally you do is you put a little initial liquidity on this curve, and then it just as more and more people buy, it goes up and up on that curve. If they sell, it goes back down on that curve. But with that kind of makes it so that you have this hype event where you just post it on Twitter or whatever. It is very volatile, and that is part of the product. To be clear, like people want that thrill of like the thing that's like coming up and down. Is it going to go back up? Is it going to, like that? That is for the pure meme. It's like, do people like it? And like some people, like if I buy it and I make a funny meme off of it, then more people will buy it. Like they feel kind of like a sense of ownership in something. But that is being very much conflated with actual people of power then tweeting about it with potentially information that other people don't, and buying and not necessarily being transparent about that. So my opinion is those really have to go into a different type of distribution mechanism. You see different mechanisms all the time, like either airdrops or different like auction styles. Like just think of anything like, doing a public offering of almost anything. There's usually some sort of pricing period where they have some pool and they kind of do some price discovering based on that kind of auction. And then it's like kind of like a fair auction price, and then it gets priced at some value. And then during that like discovery period, people can kind of like take back their bid or whatever. So you get a little chance to get the transparency, understand what you're buying, that kind of thing. Now, would the consumer like that in the meme world? I don't know. But if you are trying to not just be a meme and have like some fundamental properties of your project, I honestly think we should, as an industry, we need to go toward these more transparent, less hype cycle driven distribution mechanisms. And yeah, they should be just categorized fundamentally differently. Even within memes, I think they should be categorized pretty differently, like ones that are coming from Pump.fun or something that has more cabal centric. But I think anything that has some level of extra information should definitely have more transparency and price discovery periods, I think.
Yeah, well, right now, none of the categorizations work anymore because the meme coin cycle for now, right now, at this very moment, has been totally destroyed. But back then, you had like the different levels. You had the there was blue chip, if you actually want to call it blue chip. But for example, like on base, the number one meme coin at that time was Brett, for example, the blue character from Matt Fury. And it was supposed to be like the Pepe of base. So if base was doing very well, then then the performance of that, and it went up to like 2 to 3 billion market cap at that time. So people like saw that as big community coins, blue chip. You could hold it long, but obviously now everything has been tested or been draw down 90% plus. And it used to have been like with Popcat and all these like big sized communities that were considered like the blue chip because they were big market cap. They got on all exchange listings. Coinbase approved them and listed them as well. So those were like, they passed the legal diligence like Peanut and Mudang or all these other coins, right? And then you had like but then there are coins obviously that are just like flavor of the week based on an event or a specific thing that happens. Those are just very short term, and people buying into that know that as well too. Like it could be like a Super Bowl Inu or World Cup Inu. That actually World Cup Inu was a big one that previous cycle that went up to like $500 million market cap, and it was just leading all the way up until the World Cup. So those are just like very timed memes. And people know they're just trying to like play a game of almost like a dare game, a chicken game where who's going to pull out first, and the charts will keep going back and forth on how that goes. And then they're just straight derivatives, right? Like once you see like Mudang do very well, then Peanut, right? Like the people are just looking for animal coins and the next popular derivative that happen, or they call it beta plays as well too. You would have like Mudang or CZ coin, but then for some reason people start creating variations. It would be like baby CZ or CZ Inu or CZ broccoli, like CZ's dog, or they go to they start like being creative, and that's the nature of memes, right? Like, and that's what's cool about it is it rapidly evolves and kind of forks in itself. And if it is a very very high market cap category like Mudang went up there, then people want to just kind of capitalize on that attention and people are trying to chase because they missed that pump, then they want to find the next one as well too. And so that happened a lot this whole cycle, even for a lot of the memes. And so that's why when you see a lot of these animal coins, everybody's started looking at Whiff and Dog with Hat, and then they started to follow a few other ones because they're just trying to like play off these like meta ideas. And then they're like, oh, can we do Pepe on base that does very well, because Pepe on ETH was doing very well. Can we take all Matt Fury's characters? There was even a time of the cycle where the cabals were creating a whole family of the Matt Fury coins, and all that collectively was actually doing very very good as well too. But again, all that got thrown out with what's happening most recently. So back then, again, because of bubble maps and distribution and things on chain, like you could see like the distribution of how the coins are. Again, there was fair launch coins. They're just like just openly launched and people can buy it up. There were pre-snipe coins, which is some of when the coin launches, they don't share the contract address, and they'll get like 50 wallets or to bots to just buy up the supply and control the supply to dump or to give it out to influencers. And that's like another style of meme coins. Community takeover is when the dev or the devs or the founding team quits, but then there's just so much free floating supply that somebody, and the coin is so low that they just buy up the whole supply and then they take it back over again. I'm trying to think of Whiff is like that, and Dogecoin actually is that, right? The founder of Dogecoin quit, and then that's actually what helped ignite. That's actually the original story of community takeover is Dogecoin guy quit, and then the coin just exploded without because the whole community just took it over as well too. But frankly, now within the past 3 months, because of people wanting just to chase the gains, like they stopped caring about all these like past mechanics that people were previously warning about, just because they're just trying to go after like the gains. And I would have to say too, what was guilty of that is not the protocols or anything itself. It's just like the exchanges are in it for the money, right? Like they're just instantly listing, and they want that they want to list these coins, and that gives a lot of legitimacy to all these ideas, whether they are pre-sniped, bundled, or massively supply control, and they don't really care that retail is going to get wrecked because they make their money off of the transaction fees. But what happened now, even behind the scenes too, was that VCs at first in this cycle too, they were getting mad because their narratives were all getting like tilted and not happening. Like all their coins, from AI to GameFi and everything, just wasn't going. But all the cabals were not allowing like any of the VCs and others to come in and buy. So I'm sure like now with like what happened recently with some of these more sophisticated big liquidity pool rugs, some of the VCs, I'm pretty sure, or something like Suzu or Arthur Hayes is also involved with some of these heavy big coins. They can market make and paint the chart. They can do some crazy, they can pull liquidity out and do some crazy stuff. And they kind of entered the space now and executed these mass extraction events that we see most recently as well too. So yeah, it's just rapidly evolving. I hope, especially now, there was a knee-jerk reaction, and we saw a lot of the L1 coins kind of pop back up for utility after with what happened with Argentina. But I think it's going to get reset again when Kanye launches his coin sometime this week. That we're going to see another chaos happen, especially with how the market is right now. But my hope again is that we go back to the more fair launch and more evenly distributed coins. Yeah, but again, something like Brett did very well, and it was like a blue chip. But it was actually the dev team actually owned like 80% of the supply still too, and they didn't rug because. But then that was just from a team that was super experienced. Like I said, there are some cabals that have launched meme coins successfully, and if you don't rug and you hold that meme coin up to a very high price level, then you have the right to actually launch another meme coin, and all your investors will buy that one, and it becomes like a fulfilling community and coin that just continues to grow because everybody starts getting rich together. And there were coins that were, the token holders were continuing to grow. And Brett, for example, that guy, he called, or he launched 6 coins, and all of them did very well at that time. He did Brett. He did one on Tron, the Tron Bull, which is the mascot for Tron. He did one for Telegram, Redo, which is the dog. So at that time, that narrative worked very well. But they were sniping like 80% of supply control. But that was an experienced team, and then that shifted the community back towards that level of devs or projects. But then the wrong devs started coming into place, and then using that as an excuse and just start rugging and dumping people. So it's very weird, like how the space has evolved. But there's nobody can say like what style is good. I mean, we even see like pre-sale meme coins as well too, right? Like somebody would just throw a contract address on the tweet. That's still wild to me.
Well, I think that's wild. Actually, at least in this, I don't have the exact timeline of this. It's hard. Like I'm way lower level than this. I work on the core protocol for the most part. But my sense was like these timeline wise, that's part of the reason why I pumped that fund started giving a rise, because you'd have these people that would just post their chain address on, like, if you buy in, then I'll just pay you back later in random tokens. People started doing that, and like obviously that was not healthy. And then so for those not aware, like pump fund like is a very contentious thing, because there's a lot of volatility, so a lot of people lose money, some people make money, whatever. But like it can be problematic in some ways, and they've done some things that have like even done live stream, which created some pretty like horrendous things at times. They took that down because of that, and they're kind of revisiting that product. But anyway, the actual core mechanics are pretty fair. Like the way they actually launch the token entirely yourself. So when he's talking about like taking the supply, they actually don't allow that. When you launch the token, you put up a little bit of Solana just to set up the contract and set up the initial liquidity with the token on that curve that I was talking about earlier. And as people buy in, the dev actually can't even pull the SOL that's paid for that token. Whereas on other protocols, they potentially could. That's a rug. If people were buying in on that curve, and then the dev pulls the liquidity so that when you sell back down, that the liquidity is no longer there. That's like generally considered what a rug is. There's different forms of it, but that's like the most common one. But on pump.fund, the dev cannot do that. It sits there as liquidity on the other side, and the dev doesn't have control of it. So that is kind of a fair launch in a sense. You can still game it. You can kind of just buy a bunch of the tokens and then let it sit there and like not tell anybody about it. Like there's 20,000 a day that get launched. So you can still kind of delay and just buy it up yourself and do a bunch of semi-nefarious things, or I don't know, who knows, it's Wild West. But then you can promote it later. So it's not a perfect system, but they at least do try to give some constraints for their customers to and some transparency, because every single token on the product on the launchpad has to be released that way. So even if it's a hype event, at least you know the mechanics. That's actually the problem with a lot of these other ones, is like they just post something on a Twitter of like a high profile person, but you actually don't no consumer has the time to go to the chain and like read the nuances of the contract or whatever, because if it's not on pump.fund, you have to like know which platform it is and what are the mechanics of that thing. And that's where a lot of the rugs are, like, especially like the insider information in these cabals can like really kind of, stack the deck in their favor. So yeah.
Nice.
So I'm a UI UX designer, and after talking to a couple people here, I feel like a lot of people in the tech sector are having a hard time finding work with all the tech layoffs. So I think there's a lot of us that might feel, even outside of this meeting, that might feel like we might be forced to become meme coin traders. And in that case, what kind of software do people use to do it quickly and like stay up to date? Because it seems like just tapping into crypto Twitter doesn't really give you
it's usually too late by then. Crypto Twitter.
Like, how does one stay abreast, and if they're not part of a cabal?
I mean, there's different levels to it, right? Like there's a lot of private groups. Like there are, if you could kind of tell like which influencers, if you see what they've called in the past, then you can kind of really tell that they're involved with some sort of insider groups, and they will have like a pay channel or a Telegram channel. And I'm not saying that you should subscribe to all of them, but there are some pretty good ones out there that have pretty good access. They usually are in Dubai, because a lot of the cabal guys are in Dubai actually. And they so that's one way, is just try to get into some of the early calls from some of those Telegram chats, and you can go back and just like check, kind of date their performance, right? Like if they called something on the Telegram channel, go see like how it did before the chart, and then what's the success or hit rate from that. Other ways is just like there are some tools that like sniper tools and some other dashboards like Kaito, Kaito, that kind of shows like narratives and sentiment and mindshare. But there are some other more sophisticated tools out there like bubble maps and others that I personally have not gotten too deep, but there are like a lot of tools now that try to help discover different memes. But
It's not like there isn't like a day trading type platform where you're watching things in real time.
It would be like
tons of
Deck Screener. I'd say like
Screener,
Deck Screener. Deck Screener is probably the most popular one, and there's like variations of Deck Screener.
Yeah, but the bubble maps is what he's talking about, is like an on-chain view of token holders and like their relationships and stuff like that. I will say this though, I'm going to answer this probably the opposite of what you intended. As a dev, there's a lot of jobs in blockchain, and some of them not involved in this conversation at all. Like there's a whole emerging market called DPIN. I think some people in this room are even there. There was a DPIN day in East Side near Bellevue. Conduit is kind of like this local company, and there's tons of different companies. Helium works with T-Mobile, which is, they have a local office. That, there's tons of people, these businesses that are doing well, hiring. They're not as crazy volume as these speculative markets, that have kind of dominated, like, trading and stuff that are meme coins, but they're sustainable businesses. And yeah, you can get jobs at one of these places. Payments companies too are starting to see really good, like they do like cross-border payments between businesses and consumers, and like underneath it they do blockchain rails. So there's a lot of things. They're very much like nuts and bolts, but blockchain is actually like the reason why blockchain works so well for these meme coins. Partly is the permissionless nature of it, but part of it's just because money moves so quickly, like or data moves so quickly, and like if people assign value to it, then it can be represented as value or whatever. But like you can use that for tons of things, and blockchain is very meritocratic at its core. Most of the stuff is open source. They're kind of very open environments, so you can just kind of get in and start building something, get some stuff on your belt, design something. Look at something and give a design critique. There's people on Twitter who have made a career out of basically doing that and then doing contract work on those designs. So it's a lot of it's out in the open. A lot of the development, like dev blockchain is very different than like kind of consumer blockchain. Like I sit here today, like, I don't know, obviously everything's kind of wild and crazy with trade wars and all this other stuff, but like I sit here and I don't know, I spent my day looking at core dev protocol optimizations, so like there's very different communities that you can enter this space in.
Yeah. Nice. Well, we could definitely keep talking about this all night long, but we should probably wrap here. But they'll be here for a little bit if you want to keep talking to them, ask some questions about meme coins. I definitely message these guys about that stuff all the time. So Matt, Justin, thank you so much for joining us today. Let's give them a round of applause. And real quick before we break, what are good ways that people can either follow you or stay in touch with you or just get to know what you're all continuously doing?
Oh yeah, for me, yeah, crypto Twitter, just Justin Wu, Justin W, or my handle is Hackerpreneur, like hackathon, Hackerpreneur, but I'll share it out. And then yeah, or Decentral as well too.
I am Matt Sorg, MATTSORG. Actually, outwardly, I'm mostly on LinkedIn. I'm kind of a boomer. I kind of go where people in crypto aren't, and I kind of like find different avenues of business and stuff. So yeah, crypto, or I'm on Twitter. It's just kind of like my name, kind of backwards, TAMGROS. Yeah, you can find me there too. But I'm most active on LinkedIn, actually.
Nice. Awesome. And to stay connected with us at TF Labs or Niftmint, you can follow us on both, either at Niftmint or at TF Labs, pretty much everywhere. I'm either JG Product or JG Blanco everywhere. Our next event is going to be on March 28th or 29th, March 29th, whatever that Saturday is, March 29th. Here at TF Labs, we're going to be talking about decentralized AI. So if that is a topic that's interesting to you, highly recommend. It's actually going to be an all-day event for that. So definitely join us then. And yeah, pay attention to some events that we're going to be hosting in other cities as well. And thank you all for listening online. Thank you all for being here. And we will catch you next time.